same problem where they've done work and the roads are never brought up to what they should be in the trenches the same way. You can go on almost any town and see this. Now, the question is, if they're going to do this, permitting, there'll probably be a fee. Maybe there should be something to guarantee that that hole will be filled in properly and it'll be maintained, or a check a year or 2 years later to see if they're settling, so that we won't have to put up with these ditches and the bad roads that we have all over the state. Now, can this be included in this?
Mr. Valiakonis.
No, sir. Unfortunately, it can't be included. The intent of this law is to address public safety, and it's to address and ensure that anyone that's doing excavations on either public property, private property, it doesn't have to be roads, it can be in your yard, has obtained a permit. And by obtaining the permit, the excavator is certifying that he understands the law, and number two, he has insurance. That's what the law provides for, is that it's a safety issue. The situation that you addressed about town roads is something that's handled through bonds, and typically on a road project, the town would secure a bond from a private contractor, and the work would be done to the town's satisfaction. Please keep in mind, however, that there are exemptions in the law. For example, of some of your public utilities, your gas companies, your Verizons are exempt from the requirements to file a bond, and therefore the situations that you cite are likely due to public utilities doing works in these right-of-ways where they are not required to file a bond. But again, this issue is strictly a matter of public safety. It applies to any private entity, but it also applies to the town. So the town needs to go forward and permit itself. And it is in compliance, as Selectman Messeri said, with a state law that was passed by the legislature.
How do the fees and everything this relate? What kind of fees do they be? Are they going to be for people or whatever on this like this? How does it work? And what, actually at this point too, what department or what person is going to be responsible for this? We should know that.
Mr. Valiakonis.
The fees have not been established at this point. The state law does provide that the town can collect a reasonable fee to cover its costs. However, the town is not going to establish a trench safety department to go out and inspect every trench around town. We do not have that ability to do so. If a complaint is brought to the town by a citizen or by a resident, then we have an obligation to act. However, we are not going to be in the business, nor does the law require us to be in a proactive stance. And so the permit fee that is charged will be commensurate with the work that the town expects to perform.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Article 11, Mr. Messeri.
Mr. Moderator, I move to pass over Article 11.
Mr. Messeri.
Sounds like there's some disappointment out there. The board has decided to take a tack, and our union contracts are up again, and we've asked the town administrator to start with negotiations associated with changing some of the rules associated with details to relieve some of the costs, specifically the cost that the board DPW faces associated with road work on our local streets.
Any discussion on the motion to pass over? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to pass over, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? No. As the majority vote, could my tellers please step forward? All those in favor of the motion to pass over? In order to have your vote count, you must be seated. All those in favor of the motion to pass over, please tell us, would the teller step forward and start again, please? All those in favor, this is the motion to pass over, to go home and watch the ball game. I'm not watching up here, I swear. The motion to pass over. Mrs. Colella.
12.
Mr. Jervy.
17.
Mr. Norton.
23.
All those opposed? Mr. Jervy.
41. 4-1.
Ms. Colella.
50.
Ms. Colella, you said 50. 5-0. Motion fails. 52 for, 135 against. And now I will stand here until someone makes a motion. We can have a motion to move forward. We can...
I make a motion, we move forward on this.
I need the motion in writing. I need a written motion in writing specifying what we are doing. You need a piece of paper? Just if I can clarify for a second here, okay? We cannot have a motion to move forward with the article. The motion must be specific. Town council is down here if you want to consult with them, but I need a written motion specifying what we are moving forward on. A motion to move forward with Article 11 is not a motion that I can accept. It must specify exactly what we are doing.
Make a motion, we consider Article 11 as written, with the same wording.
Point of order, Mr. Moderator.
As written, okay.
Point of order, Mr. Moderator.
Mr. Rowe?
In the past, when we've had a motion where somebody has stood up to pass over the motion and the motion was defeated, the next step was to move to the motion.
No one presented the motion.
To go right back to the article, not to make a motion.
No, wait. In the past, a motion has been put on the floor, and then a motion to pass over comes on the floor after that. That's different. The motion to pass over was the first motion put on the floor. That motion failed. We are now on Article 11. I'm waiting for a motion on the floor. Town Council has ruled Mr. Woolmanzy's motion as acceptable. So, the motion is to consider Article 11 as written. And I have it in writing, signed. Barbara's checking on me. So we have a motion on the floor to move to accept Article 11 as written. Is there discussion?
Jim Perkins again, and I'm reluctant to come up because I realize that we have already lost the motion before the vote is even taken. But when I think of this motion and I see how the police perform their duties as flagmen at these construction sites, I'm often reminded of George Orwell's Animal Farm. And if you recall, when George Orwell wrote in his Animal Farm that there are some animals that are, all animals are created equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Now, of course, in this instance, I am substituting people to animals. But I have never met anyone who is out of uniform and not associated with a union that agrees that we should pay the exorbitant rates that are dictated by the police. My question tonight is this something that is mandated? Does the legislature, have they enacted laws that say that police must be used for this purpose, or is that absent from the legislative articles?
Mr. Klein. Mr. Klein is Town Council.
Darren Klein, Copeland and Page, through the moderator. The state has not enacted any laws that requires necessarily that police officers be used for street details or traffic details.
I'd like to follow that up then. In other words, the town is free to decide for itself whether it wants to use alternate flagmen or non-union flagmen for this job.
Taking into consideration public safety functions as determined by the police chief, yes.
As determined by the police?
Chief.
By the police chief.
Yep.
But now but he has a vested interest in this, am I correct?
I do not believe you're correct, no. He does not have a vested interest in this.
Well, he is a member of the police union, and doesn't he have a fiduciary responsibility?
He's not a member of the police union. Just to finish my answer, because what recently you may have heard is the state did recently enact certain legislation that on state projects requires the use of flagmen in certain situations.